Hey, my name is Robert. This is episode 5 of Fight Picks, and today I'm going to be covering Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. As always, if you're interested in just the predictions, you could just skip towards the end of the video. Let's go for Mario Barrios' fight style, along with his strengths and weaknesses. Mario Barrios fights best on his front foot in the mid range. When he fights here, he is able to land his most powerful combinations. He likes to mix it up to the head and to the body with hook combinations. Barrios' best combination is his 1-2. He puts the most power behind his straight right hand and has found a lot of success with it so far in his championship career. He dropped Abel Ramos and Fabian Maidana with this shot in his fights with them. Both of these knockdowns came in the first 3 rounds. Mario Barrios seems to be much more dangerous early on in a fight opposed to in the later half. He actually seems to slow down a bit as the fight goes on. Mario Barrios has a high guard and holds his hands in a disciplined position for the majority of the fight. On the back foot, Barrios is vulnerable to straight punches through his guard. You can also counter Barrios mid-range and catch him through his guard as well. When fighters start to build their way into the fight, we have seen Barrios get hit with huge shots. Abel Ramos, after the 6th round, started routinely connecting with power punches. These shots were landing through the guard and around the guard of Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, he slows down in the latter half of the fight. Recently, this has been very evident in his career. Not in the gassing out kind of way, but more in activity. He sometimes loses focus in the ring when he gets too comfortable. This is actually exactly what happened to him against Abel Ramos. Despite almost dropping him in the first round, and then going on to drop him in the second round, Mario Barrios allowed Abel Ramos to build his way back into the fight and drop him in the 6th round, which completely changed the momentum of the fight. Mario Barrios, he has taken a lot of damage throughout his career so far. He is a warrior and can take sustained punishment, but unfortunately, his face cannot take it physically. He is very prone to swelling. He showed this in his most recent win against Fabian Maidana. A fight where it seemed like he was winning every round, yet Barrios nearly had his right eye shut at the end of 12. Barrios has also shown vulnerabilities to his body. Yordenis Ugas hurt him with a body shot, and Gervonta Davis dropped him with a body shot in their fight, which eventually led to the finishing sequence. And over his career, it has seemed like he cannot take body shots as well as other fighters, unfortunately, and it's most likely due to his taller, skinnier frame. Now, let's go over Ryan Garcia's fight style along with his strengths and weaknesses. Ryan Garcia utilizes a high guard most of the time when out of range. Sometimes his hands will rest by his chin right here, though. This usually indicates that he is going to start setting up his jab or putting more power behind his jab. He primarily fights on the front foot and likes to jab his way into range. He doesn't walk you down like most opponents. Instead, he likes to establish his pressure, but chooses when to plant his feet and put more power on his punches. I noticed this when starting the tape. Garcia, he has seemed to bite hard to body feints, or even body shots in general. He drops both hands to defend these kind of shots, and it has cost him many times. Against Rolando Romero or Rolly made it look like his left hook was going to go to the body, but instead he looped it up top, which dropped Ryan Garcia. I also noticed that Garcia doesn't really fight that well on the back foot. Pretty much all of the success that he finds is when he is pressuring on the front foot. That, or when he has his feet planted in the center of the ring. Against Devin Haney and Rolly Romero, he seemed kind of lost when his opponents were pressuring him. He lacks the ability to consistently fight on the back foot. He has a great check left hook, which stunned Rolly for like a split second, and which rocked Oscar Duarte. But that seems like it's his only weapon. He does also use his counter jab and his counter right hook, but they're not nearly as consistent as that left hook, which is not surprising at all. Ryan Garcia's defense is also very questionable. To me, it seems like his defense is his offense. But when his opponent does throw punches at him, it seems like his best way to defend them is to either lean back or just move his feet. He does like to parry straight punches like this, but he doesn't really have a consistent way to defend the hooks. When he's getting pressured back, he also kind of likes to frame a little bit with his lead hand. He does it to measure his opponents, but to also prevent them from advancing. His high guard hasn't really been that effective from what I've seen so far, but it is good that he holds his hands defensively sound in scenarios like that. This fight is very interesting because both guys have flaws in their game. Ryan Garcia struggles to defend hooks and counters due to his hand placement, while Mario Barrios struggles to defend the straight punches through his guard and the looping shots around his guard. I think we really have to look at their recent fights to get a better understanding of how to predict this fight. Mario Barrios is coming off of two draws, both of which he looked pretty average. He went to a draw against legend Manny Pacquiao, who was 47 years old. Prior to that fight, he also went to a draw against Abel Ramos. And I hate to say it, but Ramos absolutely should not have been fighting for that title. And despite that, Ramos dropped Mario Barrios in the sixth round. Let's not forget, Ramos didn't just have one moment. After the sixth round, he started actually putting his punches together. Now, Ryan Garcia, he's coming off of a loss to Rolly Romero, a fight where no one was picking Rolly to win. And Ryan Garcia looked very, very gun shy in that fight. There was not a moment, especially in that 12th round, where he knew he needed to pull out something from his tool bag. There wasn't a moment where he started to look for that one shot that he really needed. He really seemed to lack that killer instinct that we're so used to seeing him having. And in the previous fight before that, the killer instinct was there on full display. When he fought Devin Haney, despite weighing over the limit and then popping later on, I believe it was a month after the fight, he popped. He still managed to drop Devin Haney 3 times and hurt him multiple times. And I don't like to give cheaters credit at all, but dropping Haney regardless, I'm not exactly sure if Osterine would have caused you to drop Devin Haney. It takes skills to do that. It takes skills. It's not like the Osterine gave Ryan Garcia the ability to time those hooks. If anything, he already had that in his tool bag. Maybe it was the physical strength and maybe extra power from the Osterine, but I do not believe that the Osterine directly caused those shots to land. With their resumes in mind, I also just want to say that Mario Barrios has just taken so much damage throughout his career. He has shown to be very vulnerable against high level opponents and average level opponents as well. Keith Thurman was landing huge hooks on Mario Barrios throughout their whole fight. Keith Thurman, he rocked Mario Barrios with one of these shots. And it was a left hook, which might seem very significant, but the way he was throwing it is not how Ryan Garcia throws his left hooks. Keith Thurman was lunging in with his left hook, and Ryan Garcia typically plants his feet to throw his left hook. But despite that, I still think Ryan Garcia's left hook is going to be a big punch in this fight. And I think anyone can say that because the one punch power he possesses from that shot is, regardless of who he's fighting, it's going to be a factor. I also want to talk about how often Mario Barrios gets hit with the 1-2. He gets hit with it just way too often. Thurman rocked him with that shot, and Ramos sat him down hard with that shot. The guard of Mario Barrios just seems really easy to penetrate when he is facing front foot fighters. Ryan Garcia doesn't really commit to 1-2s heavily, but if he does in this fight, I think he will find success. He just has to stay defensively sound and not overthrow his punches. For me, it is really hard to pick a fighter in Mario Barrios who, throughout his career, has shown that he can be hurt badly. And we're talking to the body, to the head. Along with that, he is very prone to swelling. Matching him up against a puncher like Ryan Garcia makes it hard to not eventually visualize a Ryan Garcia stoppage. Even though Ryan Garcia has been down to the head and to the body before, he hasn't been hurt like Mario Barrios has been. That being said, I am going to pick Ryan Garcia to stop Mario Barrios in the later half of the fight. I think we will see Ryan Garcia land his shot in round 7 or around there. He will follow up, and I believe he will put down Mario Barrios before stopping him on the feet. I don't think it's going to be a one punch KO because we haven't seen Mario Barrios get slept like that ever. Even though he's been down before pretty badly, I just have a feeling he's going to be able to get up from the shot and show his Aztec warrior spirit. I am a big fan of Mario Barrios, but unfortunately, we will eventually have to see him get dethroned by more dominant fighters at welterweight. And I think this is his time, unfortunately. I am a big fan of Mario Barrios, and I do not want to see him get hurt But like I said, I feel like Ryan Garcia is too dangerous of an opponent to not be constantly thinking about the potential knockout stoppage from Garcia throughout this whole fight. If you're rooting for Mario Barrios in this fight, it's most likely going to be a really nail biting fight for Mario Barrios. But hey, we'll see who can get it done Saturday. This is a fight where I could feel like Mario Barrios can totally pull off the upset because Garcia's known defensive flaws. If Mario Barrios can exploit those flaws, he can 100% get the upset. But I'm still going to pick Ryan Garcia. Thank you guys for watching episode 5 of Fight Picks. Let me know who you got in the comments. Thank you for watching.